A day of justice for Bienvenido Castillo, the drug dealer convicted of murdering undercover police officer Christopher Hoban. In a lower Manhattan courtroom packed with 150 police officers, Judge Jeffrey Atlas sentenced Castillo to the maximum term.
By my reckoning, apart from the fact that the longest maximum sentence that I've imposed is obviously a life sentence, the minimum terms that I have imposed, which I believe constitute the minimum sentence in this case, total 57 years and 2 months. Please.
Hoban was killed in October of 1988 during a buy and bust operation on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. We'll have more on the sentencing tonight at 6. Veronica Prague.
Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Bienvenido Castillo was found guilty last month of murdering New York police officer Christopher Hoban one bloody night back in October 1988. It was a drug killing, a buy and bust operation gone wrong. For Castillo, this was a day of reckoning, sentencing for the murder of Chris Hoban. He's been given 57 years to life. Sarah Wallace has more on the story.
For the family of Christopher Hoban, their trip to Manhattan Criminal Court today was the last chapter in a painful drama that began in October of 1988. On that night, 26-year-old Chris was shot dead in an Upper Manhattan apartment during a buy-and-bust drug deal. This is the man who pulled the trigger, 25-year-old Bienvenido Castillo, a one-time cop in the Dominican Republic who came to this country after he was accused of a murder in his homeland. Today, 150 fellow police officers packed a 9th-floor courtroom to overflowing, seeking justice for Castillo. They got it.
It is clear, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the defendant violently and unlawfully acted deliberately against a police officer.
Judge Atlas gave Castillo the maximum term for murder, 25 years to life, and the maximum for the 12 other counts on the indictment.
The minimum terms that I have imposed, which I believe constitute the minimum sentence in this case, total 57 years and 2 months. Please.
The courtroom erupted in response.
We hope that this will be a nice guideline and a warning to everyone out there that you just can't go around shooting people indiscriminately.
But if you really wanted to have justice, it should have been a death penalty.
And although Mr. and Mrs. Hoban both admit to mixed emotions, each of the two younger sons, Martin and Tommy, plan on following in Chris's footsteps. They have each passed the police exam. From Lower Manhattan, Sarah Wallace, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Tonight in Ridgefield, New Jersey.
Well, we'll depart from the silliness for a moment. Every day, police officers leave for work. Well, the war on drugs has been costly, and all too many of those officers don't return. In the final part of Dick Oliver's report on survivors, we talk about a hero.
Martin and Tina Hoban were at home the night the call came.
I was just laying down on the couch to watch the World Series, and he got the phone call and he came in and he said to me, Tina, he says, I just received a phone call from the police department and there's been an accident. That's what we were told.
Martin Hoban knew the worst had happened, but he knew it hours before the phone call.
When Chris said, "So long, Dad," I had the feeling that that was the last time I was ever going to see him.
Police officer Christopher Hoban, a 26-year-old undercover narcotics cop, had been gunned down in a buy-and-bust operation in an Upper Manhattan apartment. First he was hit in the stomach, then execution-style in the head.
Chris could very well have lived. Could possibly have lived. Nobody knows. He might have died, he might have lived. If this guy didn't deliberately shoot him in the head.
The killer, Bienvenido Castillo, was sentenced to 57 years to life without parole, the maximum permitted under state law. But the pain for the Hobans did not end with the trial.
It's a hurt you can't talk about. It's happened to thousands of others. People lose their children. It's a hurt you never get over. And as I said, it has happened to others, but it makes you very sensitive today when you hear of a child dying, another person's child, no matter how old, you're tuned now and you're sensitive. And then when you hear of a policeman being shot, you feel it's family all over again, and you want to rush to the hospital.
In a horrible coincidence, a second police officer, Michael Busick, was also shot and killed in yet another drug-related case in Upper Manhattan.
We were at the hospital, and the mayor and beautiful person, I have to say, that Mayor Koch and Commissioner Ward were talking to us when another call came through. And I remembered the mayor saying, "Oh my God, another policeman's been shot. We have to go."
The inspector's funeral for Hoban and Busick was the largest in the city's history. Block after block of men and women in blue, 12,000 of them, lined the streets of Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. They had come from as far away as Florida and California to bid farewell to the two fallen police officers. And now, life goes on for Martin and Tina Hoban.
We have two other sons who also want to become policemen. One wants to become a state policeman, and one wants to become a city policeman.
You look around and you see what's going on with drugs. They really feel that they want to do something. And I'm proud of that. And I'm glad they feel that way. I'm not going to worry and think that lightning is going to strike twice. I can't believe that way. I just can't believe that way. And it's something they want to do. When I've said it once, I've said it a dozen times. The best gifts we can give our children are roots and wings. And if that's what they want, that's what they chose in life.
That series was very effectively produced by Kaluska Poventud. And Dick Oliver will be along a little later in the program with live reports on what's happening this morning. Now, we're trying to lighten things up a bit.